Yo, what is good, YouTube, and welcome back to another JC2K video. In today's video, we're going to be doing episode number 34 of I Build Your Teams, the series where I build my viewers' teams with the best teams possible for my team unlimited and or competitive play based on how much MT they have and what their squad is currently looking like. Before we hop into the video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help me push towards the 12,000 subscriber mark on the channel. I upload every single day, and I would really appreciate it if y'all do subscribe. Without further ado, let's hop right into it. First team today comes in from Marshall is the GOAT, and he's got 1,000,000 MT on current gen. Teams is looking amazing. Already has Rick Smits. Congratulations, that's a huge W. And his team's amazing. Like, I would start Smits over Opal Yao. I think he's definitely better than Opal Yao. I honestly think he might be better than Dark Banner Yao as well. That's how good I think the Smits card is. I would start him, and I probably would start Taco too. I'd probably switch these two, start them over Dirk and Yao, bring those guys off the bench. But in terms of actual upgrades that I would make to this team, number one, we can make a small upgrade. I think you upgrade Andre Kirilenko. It's not a small upgrade, but it's not a crazy expensive upgrade. I would get Jonathan Isaac, pick him up, put him at the 3, bring Brian Scalabrine off the bench at the 3, and sell Andre Kirilenko. That's the first thing. Second, after that, I love the Luka and Tim Thomas duo. I think that's amazing. Off the bench, Artest and Vince is a good duo, but that's 6'7", 6'6", a little bit undersized. For me personally, what I would recommend doing is selling Artest and going and getting a Nikola Jokic. I think Jokic is the perfect guy to put in this team. If you want to save MT, you could go with a Hirohito Turkoglu instead. You're going to have a few different options on terms of players you can pick up and things like that. But for me, I think if you were to have Luka and Jokic and then Tim and Vince, and then you have, who did I say, Jonathan Isaac and Brian Scalabrine, and then you start Taco and Rick and bring Dirk and Yao off the bench, that 10-man is incredible. Already have a very good 10-man, but that's some slight upgrades will make it even better. Second squad today comes in from Belize and Boss. He's got a 1.3 million MT, and this team literally needs to be completely redone. I don't even understand barely what I'm looking at right now. He's got Terry Dishinger. That is all I know right now, is that he has Terry Dishinger, so we can include Terry in the lineup. Outside of that, is there a single card in this team that is going to stay? In all honesty, the answer is no. Let's rebuild this team. Hido Turkoglu is going to be the starting point guard. Starting small forward is going to be Thurl. We're just gonna throw in some budget players to start us off. We're gonna go Scalabrine right there, and then we're gonna pick up at the 4. Who's a good budget-ish for? I don't even know how much MT we're trying to spend on these types of cards. Backup 5, I guess we go Tyson Chandler. Starting 5, we go Peter Goodmanson. I'm just buying budget players right now. I think you need one more expensive point guard. No, he's kind of, Luka might be a little too expensive though. Maybe we just go with more of a budget option for right now, and a guy like Jalen Rose. All these guys are cheap. All these cards are cheap, so they're going to save you MT for right now. Danny Green at the 2 would be a great option. At the 4, I think a Joakim Noah would be great. Maybe we bring him off the bench, and then we buy a more expensive starting 4. Who would that be? I'm trying to get a good idea. Okay, Dirk's an awesome option. I think he's decently affordable as well. Something like this. Say you built this team. This team is like miles, eons, way better than the team that you have right now. You could also just run Chris Bosh if you want. Like, you can run Bosh at the 4. You can run Bosh and Joakim Noah, not buy Dirk. Like, this type of team will be improved. But the team you have right now is, this team is, in all honesty, to be blunt, kind of an atrocity right now. You go from this team to something like this, it's going to be a massive upgrade. You're really not going to spend that much of your MT as well. Then you could look to buy some other upgrades. Maybe you buy a better point guard, somebody like a Luka Doncic or Ron Artest, and then you look to buy a small forward. You get a Jonathan Isaac, maybe another shooting guard. Cards like that can continue to upgrade your team. Another center, maybe you try to target an Opal Yao. Players like that. But you need to start off by building yourself a starter type team, something like this that you can really work with, and that will help you out significantly from the team that you have right now. Next squad today comes in from Holston's. He's got 100,000 MT. He's got SGA, T-Mac, John Isaac, Dirk, and Yao, with Harden, Steve Smith, Brian Scalabrine, Hakeem, and Brook Lopez off the bench. My main recommendation for this team is going to be selling T-Mac and replacing him with either regular Tim Thomas or regular Radiant T-Mac. One of those two guys, instead of, like, I think Hero Tim Thomas is a little bit more expensive than both those guys, although I'm not 100% sure. But I'd pick up one of those cards, sell the Invincible T-Mac to get yourself some more MT, and then that will give you the ability to upgrade your point guard position slightly. I think if you could get Luka and then bring SGA off the bench, that's awesome. Maybe even get Luka and Artest, something like that. And then you could have, say, Luka, regular Tim Thomas, John Isaac, Dirk, and Yao. And then off the bench, you have something like SGA, Steve Smith, Scalabrine, Hakeem, and Brook Lopez. I like that a little bit better than the team that you're running right now, to be completely honest. I think that'll help you out. And then I'm going to recommend just grind for Rick Smits. You got yourself a solid team already. If you can get Smits in your lineup, you will certainly not regret that in the slightest. So would be looking to target him as well in the near future. But with that being said, that's about all I got to say with this one. Let's hop into the next team. So Growler said he sold his team. He's probably getting about 1.4 million. It's a little small, but that's okay. Cards that we can work with that I think can stay in the lineup with this squad. I would sell Patrick Ewing, by the way, as well. But you have Hakeem, who I think can come off the bench. That's fine. And then was there anybody else that I actually like on this squad? Sean Livingston. I'm cool with him as well. Backup PG right there. You said you'll have about, what'd you say, 1.4 million MT? Okay. So, again, we're going to go with some of the cheaper options. No. Actually, your most expensive purchase, I think, should be somebody like that. Coming off the bench, we'll go with Richard Jefferson to give you a little bit more size and defensive versatility. Starting center, we'll go with Galaxy Opal. Yeah, those are going to be your two expensive purchases. In my opinion, I think would be about what I'd recommend. Would be doing something like this. Power forward, let's go one more expensive purchase, actually. Pick down Taco Fall. We can buy Tim, Taco, and Yao. Those could be the three expensive players, and then we can fill every other spot with budget or cards, more budget cards, I should say. You could even run something like this so that you have a giant off starting in your starting lineup and off the bench. And then in the starting lineup, we can go get Thurl Bailey, and off the bench, we can go get Andre Kirilenko. Something along these lines would be the type of team that I would recommend building right now. Maybe don't pay for Hero Tim Thomas. I meant to select the regular Tim Thomas. Here we go. Something like this is probably the team that I would be recommending that you try to build with what you have right here, is my opinion. Sell LeBron, sell Patrick Ewing so you can stack a little bit more MT, in my opinion as well, because neither of those cards are quite worth the amount of MT that they're going for right now for sure. And I think if you can build something like this, you're not going to regret it at all, and it's really going to turn out very nicely for you. Third to last team today comes in from Hamza. He's got 4 million MT. Good night. That's a lot of MTs. Wondering if he should get rid of KP once he gets Rick Smits, or just replace Dikembe. Honestly, I kind of think that's opinion. Who do you prefer? Do you prefer Dikembe or do you prefer KP? Pick which one you prefer, play him at your backup power forward position, and then put Rick Smits at the center position. And your team's going to be insane, obviously. I mean, you already have a really good team. I would say with 4 million MT, you might as well upgrade your point guards. I know you have good point guards already. Ben Simmons is very good. The Titan Ben is fine, but he's not as good as a couple of the other PGs, though. I think, my opinion, with the amount of MT you have, man, I'm just going to say this. Run this 10-man. Luka Doncic, Tim Thomas, Bull, Taco Fall, Yao Ming, Nikola Jokic, Terry Dishinger, Jonathan Isaac, KP or Dikembe, Rick Smits once you get Rick. Once before you have Rick, just run KP and Dikembe. That's what I would recommend, personally. I think it's worth spending a little bit of the MT at this point in the year to get yourself slightly better point guards and a slightly better team. You can have Tim at the 2 to give you a little more size, pick up Jonathan Isaac. For me, I think it's worth it, man. I just think that, I know you already have very good cards, and if you want to continue using those guys, there's no problem with them because they are certainly good cards, but I think you can afford to get a couple guys who are like the best at their position in the game if you'd like to, so something to at least consider there. And then the second to last team today comes in from Cal. He's got 166,000 MT. Already has a great squad. I don't love his bench, though. I will say that. I mean, I like Sean Livingston. I don't like this Opal Magic. I don't think he's very good. Ben Simmons and Sean Livingston, though, I do like. T-Mac, and then I guess Steve Smith at the 2. Bobo and Manute, and Pettit at the 3. Taco and Hakeem at the 4. Yao and Arvidas at the 5. Not shabby at all right there. I do like that team. I would say maybe pick up a guy like Marc Gasol at the 4. I think he's going to be a better upgrade than somebody like Hakeem. I think he's just a better card. You could continue to run a guy like Big Z as well if you'd like. You could even run Mark and Hakeem as your bigs and then take out Arvidas so you have a little bit more speed and versatility and have Big Z off your bench still as your like giant stopper. I think your starting lineup is incredible. I think your bench is kind of a little bit more opinion based, but for now we probably go something like Sean Livingston, Steve Smith, Bob Pettit, Hakeem and Arvidas, or Sean Livingston, Steve Smith, Big Z, Hakeem, Marc Gasol. Something like that would be what I'd be looking for this team. Not a ton of upgrades. You could go get a Hero Hito Turkle if you want a little bit more size in your lineup with a bigger PG who's not this Magic, because this Magic, in all honesty, is just not that good anymore. So kind of up to you, though, like I said, to do what you would like with this team. So that is going to do it for that team. Last squad in today's episode is going to be the Real Laker Fan. He's got 400,000 MT with this team. Oh, crap. This team is actually really good. I didn't realize how good this team was when I put it in the video. Jokic, T-Mac, Bull, Taco, Yao. Starting lineup is insane. SGA, Vince, Jonathan Isaac, Tyson Chandler, Arvidas, Sabonis. I actually think the size that you can get out of a Hito Turkoglu is more valuable than SGA's value on the court, in my opinion, especially next to a shorter shooting guard. So I would actually go Hito Turkoglu over SGA, and it'll save you some MT. At that point, I would upgrade Tyson Chandler to Marc Gasol. And then you're probably looking at having about 420 to 450,000 MT, with which damn, I don't know, man. There's not really another auctionable center who's worth that MT price, I wouldn't say. So for me, I just think picking up Hito and picking up Marcus All, your two guys to pick up to replace SGA and Tyson Chandler, and then save some MT. Keep grinding for Rick Smits as well. If you can get Smits, he will definitely not be a card you regret getting at all. But that's probably about what I'd be looking for on this team. It's just Hito and Marcus All, and then grinding for Rick Smits and saving more MT for future drops. So that is the last team in the video. I hope y'all did enjoy this episode. If you did, make sure you hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. I'll be back with more 2K content very, very soon, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.